let's take a look at U.S. cash session hours. We had some movement in the overnight session from all-time new highs down a bit, but right away, 8:30 U.S. Central Time, going forward, not much of a pullback, and then all up all day long until the super pump, the later part of the day. So let's go mark 8:30 U.S. Central Time, right about there. I'm going to talk about the uptick, downtick bias, Renko candle. Just waiting for some final info from TradingView themselves on if they're going to let me do a custom bar type, because I'm showing them why I'm building it and why it could be to their benefit if they added the symmetrical Renko, not with the uptick downtick bias in it. They'll get the symmetrical Renko and then they can recode it or do whatever they want, but something they could add to the desktop version as a bar type. So when you go up here, they'd have another Renko type. And if they won't do that, to at least let me do a custom bar type that I can utilize as something as an invite-only script, or however they want to do it. So they haven't said no, and I'm sure it's going up channel. But I'll have more news on that tomorrow. I would be surprised if I don't get like an answer tomorrow. I don't think it's going to drag out till Friday. Now, I shot a video on why I want to build that. That video is posted. I put it up yesterday. I put up a different way to use the PFS momentum yesterday. I'm going to make another video about the PFS momentum. Today I got super busy on a few programming projects, dealing with the programmers that are programming some of the stuff. And so yeah, I was kind of busy. So I have another video I'm going to shoot on a different way to use the PFS momentum indicator, and I'll get that done probably, if not later tonight, by tomorrow morning. So we opened the market today, wrapping up some downward bias, and right away out of the open, we did get a long signal on the trend bias. We lifted a bit, had a couple cycles up higher, peaked our head a little bit higher, had a short signal. Nothing really special. You're kind of in the let me draw a better line than that. You're right in the middle of the market's recent range. So, shorting right in the middle of the range when we've been in Super Bowl mode, not like a super high probability trade. And when we got the signal, we were in some downside momentum. So I will give it that. So if somebody wants to take a shot at the short side, you got in, and then right away you got a long signal. And you can see the market kind of ended up holding, and you can see we had some ascending lower pivot highs, especially right in here, after we went right back to a long signal. So if you're in a short trend bias signal and you get a long signal, get the heck out of the short and work long side. So if somebody just wanted to buy right away out of the open, there was your signal, and you got a nice little run. It oscillated 1, 2, 3 times, and then it stalled out. The opening range, lower side opening range held, never got tested, and then higher pivot lows, and then a push higher, and then a push to new all-time highs. Okay, let's go take a look at some, what I thought were some higher probability setups. Once we started getting the ascending pivots, you can see we're a little bit back and forth. The market was kind of consolidating a bit. But right in here, we had a W pattern and lift. Trend bias was green. And on this diamond, not the diamond here, on this diamond, the momentum was very high. See that? It's kind of an important point. Notice this. Look at the momentum reading on this diamond from the PFS scalp tool. So here's momentum. Look at the momentum on this diamond. See, this indicator is smart. It's seeing, in a sense, mathematically, as it's reading recent price action, price action, and the cycles, and in this case, the cycles, we're getting higher pivot lows. So the cycle is ascending. And when you got this diamond for a quick scalp trade, momentum was breaking the prior peak. So everything was very much in alignment there. So in that diamond signal, you have your entry, your stop right here, and that one took off. Now, even if you got in on the diamond signal before and had your stop just below most recent price pivots, it cycled a bit, never hit your stop, and finally took off. But when you can see these setups, if you're doing quick scalping on the diamonds and you're in high momentum environment above the upper dotted line, those are the super high probability setups because trend bias is green, the PFS scalp is posting a diamond, and you have high momentum environment at the dotted line or above, and off she goes. You get a little bit of a pullback here and here, but the diamonds in this case are above the trend bias. I don't care for those as much. Then you got a normal, light pullback, momentum environment still high, got another diamond, that one's at the trend bias line or below, and then that thing ripped into the end part of the day. Right at the end of the day, got a short signal, markets reopened, and it's just kind of going sideways right now. It's not doing a whole lot. Asian markets are up a little bit, but not a lot of, it's kind of a pause. So we'll see what we get as the EU markets hit tonight and the DAX starts trading. Do they cash out a little bit, take us back lower? Do they actually come back in and buy the highs of the highs of the high again and keep paying above value to be a buyer in the market? And how many days in a row have we gone up over the last couple of weeks? It's kind of mind-boggling. So I will say from this peak to this peak, so from this area to this area, a divergence formed ahead of that signal. If that would have been a little bit earlier in the day, that would have been something I would have liked to have taken, but that was like way late in the day, even after the U.S. cash markets closed. So I'm not trading in that time period on new signals. But that was a really good setup today, and that was a really good setup for the diamond scalps. This was a good long setup. You were in some, high, positive momentum environment, but the key there is the market, that was the low of the, opening session in the first 30 minutes and then into the first 30 minutes plus, and we're not even able to come back down and hold, and then you get a buy signal again after a very lackluster little small sell move, and then cycled a bit and then broke out. And even if you just had the old trend line thing going, you can see which way it broke out with authority, and it held above it and off we go. And it just kind of grinded up and then had a big short covering. Institutionals were hitting it with buy programs, pushing it. So anybody and everybody that was short was just unwinding into the move. There's 3 o'clock, roughly when the stock market closed. It was in full pump mode. They pushed it right up into the close and after the close in futures. So some decent setups. Tomorrow, I got a feeling we're going to have a little bit more oscillations up and down during the day session. This market, when you go look at the amount of liquidity that's been pumped in the last few weeks, we're getting closer to the end of a week. We might start getting some hedge funds start selling out high flyers and taking some profits off the table. And if the investment bank side sees that, they might take a little off the table too. So we'll see. But yeah, a heck of a move just from that area where we consolidate a bit, and then it's been all up for a couple days in a row now. So yeah, good setups today, high probability. If you just took every trend bias signal in a little bit higher time frame, you were long, then you were short, So did you have an opportunity to take some of your position off the table? Positive, yes. Remainders out, break even-ish. Then you were long. That was a little bit of a loser on the short. And then the long trend bias stayed green literally into the close. So that was a good day if you system traded just triangles connected to Traders Post. TP, go look up Traders Post. They have tools where you can take these signals and automate what you're doing on the TradingView platform. So all these tools have outputs. The diamonds have outputs. The triangles have outputs. And I'm adding some additional outputs to the momentum tool so traders can use it for different ways connected to Traders Post. So you can use it as a filter, you can use it as a primary mechanism to trigger trade, and so on. So there you have it. If you have any questions, info@propfirmscalping.com. Those guys will answer your questions. And I'll try to get out more info tomorrow on what TradingView tells me about putting a custom bar type in the desktop version so I can use that custom, and it'll be a symmetrical Renko, the very geometric shaped Renkos with uptick, downtick, bias, coloring per candle. Okay, there you have it. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see what the market gives us on Thursday.